the smartest people by date of birth, who naturally has the ability to analyze, build logical chains, and see the whole picture, who has a sharp mind and, of course, often a sharp tongue as well. Born leaders, born philosophers, they have a good grasp of literature. At school, as a rule, they were either very interested and became top students, or on the contrary, they were bored because they already knew everything anyway. In your opinion, which numbers indicate these qualities? Write your opinion in the comments. Well, I'll say that people who have the numbers 9 and 7 in their date of birth specifically tend to possess these qualities. And if they appear together, of course, this only strengthens the quality. By the way, if you were born in the last century, then you have at least 1 9. And if you were born in the 1970s, then you have both a 9 and a 7. By the way, let me know in the comments if you were born during that period. So why is it like that after all? Of course, people who have strong 9s, for example, 27, 18, the number 9, or the month of September. If you don't have such numbers in your date of birth, it doesn't mean that you're not smart or that there's something wrong with you. You just have other qualities, other strong traits, other talents that others may not have. For those who carry strong 9s or strong 7s, everyone develops in their own direction. So why do we say that people who have strong 9s or strong 7s, or those who have both 9s and 7s in their date of birth, possess such truly important and interesting abilities? Let's take a look. The 9 is like a person looking down at a chessboard from above, or like a lantern lighting the way for others. Plus the 9 represents the head. Yes, the head does the thinking, so right away, using logical connections, we can say these are people with a sharp mind. These are people who hardly need to study anything because they pick things up instantly. So if you have the 27th, 18th, or 9th as your date, or if you were born in September, write in the comments how you did in school. Often it was just uninteresting. By the way, they're very good at writing. Dictations, literary works, essays. Why is that? Because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in this head, and it needs to be unloaded from time to time. Write poems, write stories. It's quite possible that you might even become a good writer for those who were afraid to try. But the main quality of such people is first and foremost that they are managers. They are very strong, very good managers. Again, because even if we stack the numbers on top of each other, where is the 9? Right here, the head. And the head sees from up high. And people with these qualities can be called strategic thinkers, those who can see ahead in advance. If you have this ability, by the way, let me know, or feel free to disagree with what I'm saying. Yeah, tell me. Like our boss, for example, his birthday is on the 18th, and he's totally like that. Well, of course it happens. It happens. But 90% of the time, it's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, my own wife was born on the 27th. My goodness, how much intelligence is in that head. She always has an answer for anything you say. She always has an answer. Imagine what it's like for me to live with that. By the way, I don't have any 9s. I don't have any 9s in my date of birth. But my entire numerology chart is actually built around 9s, and that means gradual growth, gaining the variability we talked about, to develop throughout life. 9 also symbolizes wisdom. Wisdom that is gained throughout life, and these talents are revealed with age. And the task for those who possess such strong qualities is to make sure that age doesn't come alone, but together with wisdom. This is what we call life wisdom. I think everyone has examples, for instance, when in the older generation or among the management, age comes alone. Share your experiences, because this happens quite often. And unfulfilled people born on the 27th, 18th, or 9th, as a rule, start to show off to others. This very ability of theirs, they know deep down that they have this ability. They start to demonstrate it and force everyone to live by their own rules, the ones they've come up with. Because somewhere inside they understand, but only a small part of it. If you're interested in the topic of numerology, I invite you to join our 3-day workshop where you will be able to gain the basics of numerology. And if you already have some background, you'll discover new perspectives, new ways of thinking in numerology. You will also look into your strongest period, the one you are currently in, and which period is dominant for you. And of course, you will examine the main characteristics of your date of birth, which qualities are best for your personal growth, and through which traits you should develop. And naturally, you will also look at the main qualities of your loved ones, which will help you build or improve your relationships. If you are interested in this topic, please join us. The link is in the description of this video. How should you develop yourself? First and foremost, you need to broaden your horizons and expand your way of thinking. At our school, in our courses on systemic numerology, we study all life cycles, the 7 periods. And you might have a 9 or a 7 in your date of birth, or perhaps in your numerological chart, just like I do. All the periods, the first 4 periods, go through 9 and 7. Now imagine what it's like to live with that. What should you do? It's a constant process of growth. If a person doesn't keep developing, they'll just end up sinking into some deep depression. For example, about 20 years ago, I wanted to go to a monastery because I really didn't want to look at what was going on inside me or at the world around me. By the way, maybe some of you have also had similar desires. Feel free to share. But a person's task is to keep developing, to grow continuously with each stage of life. So if you have strong 9s, 27, 18, 9, the number, September, the month, this is your mission. First and foremost, you need to walk through life standing tall. This is dignity, it's a great strength, and of course it's wisdom. Wisdom that comes with the years. The second characteristic is 7s. Why do I separate them? Because 7 is still a different characteristic. It's our intellect. If the number 9 is more about general intelligence, then the number 7 is more about intellectual ability, more about literature and the arts, and more about having a very sensitive and perceptive nature, a sensitive inner world of a person. That's why it's quite common for people, for example, born in 1977, or those with similar characteristics that transition into 7s, to often experience depression. Why? Because they feel this world deeply. They have a very sensitive soul. And they simply feel hurt by what is happening. And they really love things like spirituality, meditation, creating their own little corner. Yes, of course, nature is their style. But a major recommendation for people with strong 7s is to live within society. Because yes, it's nice and comfortable to sit under a fir tree. It's all pleasant. But we are social beings. We are people who, they learn everything by comparison, not just with childhood or something else, but by comparing different life periods, those that have passed, those happening now, and those yet to come. And each period requires preparation. That's why we analyze each period, look at what happened in the previous one, what combinations there were, and what will happen in the next. We connect this with the date of birth, and as a result, we get a complete picture of your world. By studying this picture, you immediately see the way forward, where you need to go. After all, nowadays, everyone wants something. First and foremost, it's personal development. Personal development leads to financial stability. You know where to go, you know where you can earn, where you can make it happen. And by combining these efforts, naturally, a person finds their own path. And we study all of this both in our school and on our channel. You can also start learning. That is, we have videos on all the characteristics. We talked about the 70s. Just recently, we had a big video that talks specifically about people born during that period. I recommend watching it again. Well, if we combine the characteristics of 9 and 7, we get a union of intellect and mind. These are two characteristics that indicate a very deep person. Of course, these are natural-born leaders, natural-born managers. But it often happens that when they start studying a subject, they become completely immersed in it, diving in so deeply that they don't give themselves a chance to relate it to other subjects. That's why having a broad outlook is really important. By the way, let me know if you have strong nines or strong sevens. But also, people with strong sevens are often emotional. This applies first and foremost to those born on the 25th. These are often very emotional people, and sometimes emotion actually blocks their best qualities. So emotion is a good thing, but it's better when you could say it's controlled. The month of July is the same: people of deep meaning, people of spirituality. And by combining the number 9 and the number 7, for example, if your birthday is on the 27th and you were born in the 1970s, that means you already have a combination of these two qualities. And in this way, you already possess both high intelligence and a well-developed, structured mind. You just need to keep rising each time. And also, it's important to mention something about people who possess these qualities. They are bright and creative, and developing yourself through this will also be beneficial for you, even if it's just as a hobby or pastime of some kind. For some, it's dance. For others, it's literary evenings. Once, during a consultation, I had a young woman who would attend poetry evenings, and she would read her own poems there. For this person, that's her way of self-fulfillment. So what's the problem for people? It's not just that they're afraid to step out. They're afraid that someone will think something about them. They're afraid that someone will say something. But in reality, these are people of great talent, especially in management, literature, and the sciences, in fields where a good thought process is needed. A fresh, clear mind and high intelligence. Think about where you can realize your potential. Write down where you are realizing yourself now, what your profession is. After all, this includes teachers, wonderful teachers, even at the level of higher education institutions. This also includes business. A lot of men come with exactly these characteristics. They are strategic thinkers. They are the ones who run businesses. At the same time, they constantly want to develop themselves. With the question, where else can I go? What else can I do? We look at the periods in the birth chart. We look at the numerological matrix. By the way, our numerological matrix is different from any matrix currently used in numerology schools. Why? Because we are also constantly growing, and this matrix was created quite recently. It specifically shows a person's growth. As of today, it is a truly unique tool. And in this way, a person moves forward, keeps progressing. Through their stages, through their periods, we consider where you can best realize yourself, where to guide your children, which profession is best to choose, and where a career change might happen. All of this is present in your date of birth, in your numerology chart. If you are interested in numerology, or if you just became interested just now as you watched me, there was a time when I saw a program about numerology and it turned my life upside down. Maybe the same thing is happening to you right now. Often people who come to study say, I just saw it and that was enough. That's enough for me. Come join us, of course. We'll be happy to see you. All the links are in the description of this video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it on your social networks. And of course, subscribe to the channel and to our other resources. On our Telegram channel, we regularly post numerology recommendations every day. And we also host live streams there where we answer subscribers' questions. Well, it's time for me to say goodbye. See you next time.